thanks for checking back in on the channel. It's Mikkel with KMR. So here I have two Gixxers, GSXRs. These are both 600s. The issue is the reason why both these bikes are here is because this bike, customer contacted me saying their bike was having starting issues. They literally just picked it up maybe a month and a half, maybe let's say call it 2 months ago, and they brought it to someone and they said that the bike would start, and it's still a no start issue. So I did the regular things, went over the spark, went over the fuel, made sure there's no restrictions with the airbox, so all three things were happening, what you need to have an engine run. So I would spray some starter fluid or ether in there, and I would get some pops and stuff, but it wasn't really turning over. So then I figured maybe that the timing was off. So sure enough, I contacted them. I said, hey, did you do anything, like what did these guys do previously on your motorcycle? And they said that they did something with the timing, I guess installed a mechanical chain tensioner. So, I said, okay. Went to go check that. It was off time by a couple teeth on the gears. So spun it back into timing, realigned everything, and then again I tried to start it. It was a little better, but not too much. So what I ended up doing was I did a compression test, because there was no reason why this bike shouldn't be starting. Sure enough, cylinder number 1, 60 psi. Number 2, 3, and 4 were 120 or better. So I know that that's the issue. And these are obviously relatively small engines, 600 cc's. So, one cylinder being down is going to cost, the bike all of its energy. This bike behind me was a family member's bike. They didn't want the bike anymore. The bike was sitting, so they gave it to me. And literally, this customer needed a bike. I had this bike laying here. So I said, you know what? I'll sacrifice the bike for now, because it's almost, October, and the season is coming down to an end. People are still out riding, but it's not the summertime. It's not, this is a good time to be riding though. It's nice out. You can go take trips upstate. So, but besides that, what the plan is to take the engine out of this bike, because it's a known running bike, known, compression, everything is good, and transplant it into this bike. And they're both the same year, both the same engine size, so it really shouldn't be too much of a rocket science or a hassle to just basically pull the transplant out of the engine out of this bike, take the one out of this one, transplant it into here, and have this thing back up and running. So I'm actually trying to do all of this today, within whatever amount of time it takes. But I want to pull this engine out, take this one out, put it into this bike, connect everything, get everything situated, and get this thing up and moving, so I can bring this thing back to the customer, so they can have their bike and enjoy a little bit, whatever is left of the season. Because he hasn't ridden this bike at all. So I want him to be able to enjoy, maybe a month or 2 of riding, depending on how the weather goes. So that's the plan. So enough explanation. Swap that into this. That's it. Let's get it done. Alright, so you see the engine is out. I ain't even gonna lie, this one was pretty bad. Took a lot longer than I thought, but I'm trying to keep the frame intact. If I wasn't really trying to keep the frame to actually do a project with this bike, I would have cut that mount off and just been done with it. Because literally most of the time was taken up just trying to keep this guy intact, because there's two mounts here and one on the other side. But I wanted to make sure both of these were, all the mounts were kept in good condition. So this engine is out now. Next is that one. And I'm not even gonna do a time lapse. Next time you see that thing, engine's gonna be out. So that's it. I'm gonna hop on to the next one, get that one off. I think I realized on this engine block over here that this thing is stripped right here. So this guy's stripped. When I was taking it off earlier, there was like silicone all over it. I was wondering why, but this thing is stripped. So I'm gonna end up having to tap it, use a different bolt and washer combo, and make sure that thing is good. And then that was really it. Like I said, probably and change that side cover over there, because that's the part that when the bike fell, that's the part that it rubbed on and wiped off. Right here. That's the part that fell on and wiped off that cover. So it has an oil leak. But yeah, I think it's still a good frame. I might have to end up doing something with the shocks, because those might be bent. But that's something to worry about for another day. The next thing is this. Like I said, pull this engine out and swap those parts over. Get this thing back firing up. I just got home a little while ago. It's the Sunday, so it's the rest of the weekend. I'm trying to at least enjoy a couple more hours of it. We got a little bit of sunlight left. I appreciate you guys for checking in. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the button. Leave a comment, help the algorithms and all that, get my channel out there so, we can get this thing growing. And like again, I said, thanks for checking in.